Okay, Friday Night SmackDown. Now I could go through the whole thing, but I'm not. But I'm gonna start off with really the more important type of stuff, and right now is the U.S. Women's Championship. That's where obviously I was gonna go. Now I see there's a whole bracket. I thought that this was going to be something that's going to be across both brands. Maybe it still is. I don't know. I haven't read or checked in anything that has came across to where I was like, oh, okay, that explains some things or whatever like that. At least from right now. Watch after this. I'll find something that tells me I'm wrong about anything. But anyway, it looked like they're just crowning the champion for SmackDown or whatever like that. I was like, cause I know eventually we'll end up getting another women's title on the other show, especially once they go 3 hours. But right now, I just thought that they'll do it like the tag team championship. Anyway, anywho, I was like, it didn't really dawn on me either about how they were going to do this. The fact that, like, for instance, Bayley won tonight with Candice LeRae and B-Fab. I was like, I guess because I consider Bayley in the heavyweight championship type of thing. But to be honest, you're going to want someone that wins this to be someone to represent, almost like how Seth Rollins won the championship, the WWE championship, how Gunther basically captured the Intercontinental Championship and like staple that. Like you want people to behold this, even if it's not going to be a long time, to basically be like, our first champion is this person, and give some credibility to it. And so looking at the whole bracket, I think they got as Piper, Blair Davenport, and Bianca. I was like, they're gonna want to make something out of this. So this is gonna be Bianca. Also with Bianca and Bayley's history as well too. I feel like they're going to make this a thing with it. So they can already get that out the way. Plus you get 2 more top stars on the other side. I was like, it's like Naomi, Tiffany, and the person that's going to lose. I was like, that one to me is probably going to be, because I like Naomi lost against Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton got the briefcase. I don't see them. I was like, I can see her being put in there just to be muddling, but guess what we're doing? It's Naomi. Because I was like, guess what? Now you got Bianca, Jade. I was like, and that's what's going to be the other one. Jade is Michin and Piper. And to me, it's going to either be Piper or Jade. But to me, I was like, I feel like you're going to give Jade in here because you're going to have the 4 women basically. Whereas like Bayley, who's friends with Naomi, who's friend with Bianca, who tag team partner with Jade. Going to be a clusterfuster in some senses, because guess what? Now when they talk, it's going to be something. But then from there, I was like, you're either going to do one or 2 stories. You're either going to do Bianca and Jade, or you're going to do Bayley and Naomi. I think it's going to be Bayley and Naomi, just because I was like, the Bianca Jade, I think they're holding off of it. Even though this could cause like a rift in their tag team thing, I don't think they're actually going to do. I don't think nobody's going to turn. I think they're just going to do the match to see who's good best or whatever like that. But Naomi Bayley had sort of been a little bit bubbling for months. I was like, that they never really struck on and stuff like that. They've been having their matches together while also being tag team partners and stuff like that. So it'd just be another thing right there. I was like, Jade, I don't think she'll get it, just because I said, like in my last video, she had the TNT title in AEW. I don't think that's where they want to place her at, and that way sort of she gets pigeonholed in that, because guess what? She's not going to be somebody that's going to lose. Whereas like Bayley, Naomi, even Bianca to an extent, can lose without losing any of their substance. But to be honest, I really think it's going to either be Naomi or Bayley. I was like Naomi, because she's been doing like so much work, especially from coming TNA and stuff like that, and coming back, and she hasn't had a title. She hadn't had a title even when her momentum was really high, that it seemed like they should have struck on it, and they didn't. So I was like, I feel like they'll give it to her, because I was like, she can hold the U.S. Championship. She can have it. It'll be something for her to do and stuff like that. She could make it all U.S., bright flagged up, glow, all that other stuff. I think that would be the route. Or I think it'd be Bayley, just because of like the way her women's championship has went this year, that she didn't really get the matches and the boom or the reign that she needed to, that I feel like the U.S. title will sort of be like, okay, cool, we get to start over, because guess what? You're going to do a lot more. You're going to be like, okay, now we got to showcase this title. We got to put the title out. We got to have people facing for it. Now, on the other hand, I also want to know what has happened with Nia Jax and her championship, just because I was like, you take out a couple of those people that are vying for her championship, and this is why I'm like, everybody's like, I've seen people that's like, they got the death, and I was like, they don't have the death, because you don't have people like how you do with the men's, where it's like, oh, I can throw 7 people in the men's main championship and still have several in the mid card championship. Now it also depends, because I was like, SmackDown, no, but Raw, yes, and SmackDown got more better women than Raw does. So, but I was like, well, we'll see. I was like, that's pretty much my predictions. I was like, it's going to be those 4. Really, I was like, really smoothly, really easy, and whatnot. I was like, oh, so going to another thing, I was like, these are just tidbits that I'm talking about. The main thing is that, are we hinting at a singles run for the Street Profits? That's what I was like. You sort of heard it in a little commentary or whatnot. Like, even though they won tag team gold, that would happen in a while, but that's the thing, that they're feeling stagnant, and they're not moving. So hey, singles titles or whatever. And to be honest, I was like, that should be the move. Outside of Motor Machine Guns, I was like, Street Profits is probably really the only real tag team. But just like how LA Knight had the U.S. Open tonight, and it wasn't Escobar, it was Humberto Carrillo, and I'm like, that would actually be kind of good. That'd be great. Like, I would love to see a program of LA Knight and Montez Ford, or even Dawkins. I think they're both really good. They both can speak or whatever. I was like, now, I would rather Dawkins necessarily be the one. I was like, because Montez Ford to me is somebody that not only can be somebody that they could put as a champion, main champion. So that's why, in a sense, I'm sort of pushing for Dawkins, because I'm like, I see how sometimes this goes, where it's like that secondary guy doesn't get moved at all, to the point where he just is lost or something like that, or doesn't really get the acknowledgement he needs. Christian, Matt Hardy, just to think of a couple people off the pass or whatever like that. I don't think it'd be the same thing of like Tucker and Otis, how that happened. But yeah, that's why I'm sort of pushing for like Dawkins to be the one to get the championship or whatever like that. And then Montez Ford is like going stir crazy, because he's like, I gotta find my own way or find something or whatever. They can't split them up, but they don't have to split them up. Going back to also the women's championship thing, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, in that match with Bayley and Candice LeRae and B-Fab, I seen B-Fab, and I was like, oh, this could be something a little bit later on. I was like, we'll have to change the gimmick and stuff like that, but or find what she needs to do with it or whatever. But I was like, the presentation, her look, her moves and stuff like that, you could just tell like she just hadn't been wrestling or whatever like she needs to. But I'm like, that's there. Just got to figure out how to do it. Yeah, I was like, so then I was like, what else came across my eye? I was like, nothing really. I was like, the women's championship match was really good. I was like, I like how they picked it up and did a couple almost near falls for Naomi and Nia Jax. I was like, they played into it really well, to where it's like, I was like, even though it was on SmackDown, I was like, oh, they could actually pull this off, just to do some Naomi wins here U.S. championship type of thing. I don't know, or whatever. I thought we might get more interference from Liv and Raquel, but I was like, well, we didn't. But I was like, they had me in that second half. I'm not gonna lie. And then let's just go to the Bloodline thing. I will say this: Bronson Reed with the new Bloodline looks so good. Like, I hear what people are going to say, because obviously Seth Rollins must be on the other end. I don't necessarily know about that, because I do like it to be a swerve that, even though he got beef with Bronson Reed, he doesn't decide to still join him, committing, being like the only guy that actually got some tension and like keeping up with it. compared to everybody else that's just been seeming to go along with it in a way where there hadn't been the tension. I was like, maybe after War Games there might be, but there just ain't really been the tension needed for all this. But Bronson Reed with that team looks so good, and he put his ones up, and I would like it if he became just a part of the Bloodline. Like, that would just be really good for what his character did. And I liked how they even said on commentary that he wants to be in the main event. He wants to be in the main show. He wants to be this person in a way that I'm like, his motivation is like, yo, y'all need me? I'm down. I get to somebody up. I'm down. Like, and I'm like, him with the craziness that is with Jacob Fatu and Tomatonga, but him just looking so huge and big, but they all in black. I like, it looked great. I liked that whole part. I was like, I sort of heard rumblings of who it might be, but I didn't want to go off of it because it's just speculation because they're doing these tape shows. But which leads to basically pretty much. But I was like, but I like that all in a sense. The only reason I don't necessarily like the Seth Rollins one is just because I was like, while it will create the beef and all that other stuff there, it will also be like, so you mean to tell me this new feud with you and Bronson Reed is so strong that you're willing to join the team of the guy that you're like, that you really hate? And I'm like, okay, cool. Are they going to rush this as well, like they did with with Sammy and Jay, where it's just like they're like all just still doing orders, which I was like, cool. He's the boss, but he's not boss like how he was last time. Understandable, but at the same time, it's kind of like I was like, we're not getting funny bits and we're not getting serious moments, and I'm like, that's what's annoying, that's what's aggravating. With all this as well too. He tried to call the Wise Man. Wise Man did not pick up, and he looked distraught. And I swear to God, that was the ending shot of it all was really great with the number being out and having to beep and stuff like that. That was great. Is there a small chance that it could be Brock Lesnar? Because I was like, that would be wild. Everybody would erupt. I'm just saying that's a wild card that I'm like, that seemed like to me that could work or whatever. But he got his stuff going, and I was like, I know people got a problem with it or whatever like that, but I was like, hey, that's the WWE problem more so than anything. Like, obviously if he's actually involved, that's different to that extent. None have been dropped or whatever. But that's the only thing I can think of is like, who could it be outside of Seth that could be worth a damn? Cena, I can see Cena. I could actually see Cena, but he said Bayley. I was like, no. He said 2025. I'm just saying, I can see Cena. You ain't gotta take crazy bumps or nothing like that. He could be one of the last ones. Just play out. But anyway, that is the thoughts on my mind all the time about SmackDown. Sure, that's how it works. Anyway. See how this all goes with the next couple days leading up to War Games. Until then, all day, every day, no problem. Cause we out. We got this. Peace out.